What's up, YouTube? This is Too Raw for TV. So, this thing with Paul George sort of perplexes me a little bit because I see different reports. There were some rumors maybe a month ago that Paul George may be on the trading block. Then there was a report that came out maybe 3 or 4 days ago that no, that's not correct. He's not going to be traded. Okay. But then I see a report today that says no, he is on the trading block. Now I'll put a link to this article in the pinned comment in the comment section below. So forward Paul George is one of the best players on the Clippers, and there is no doubt that he has been valuable for the franchise. He is a do-it-all forward who excels on both ends of the floor, or at least he used to. Despite his talent, Paul George has been featured in trade rumors as of late. He has had injury issues over the last few years, and the Clippers have underachieved during his tenure. Recently, NBA insider Howard Beck revealed that Paul George might be available for trade. Paul George might be in play. Everything since then has validated that. I think he is in play. Paul George is certainly available. They aren't trying to give him away, but they are trying to pivot. They do have a franchise-wide frustration with the way that this era has gone. You know, one of the things that kind of surprised me a little bit before I did this video is for some reason I was under the impression that Paul George was the younger of the two, between him and Kawhi Leonard, but actually, he's older. He turned 33 in May, and Kawhi Leonard turns 32, I believe, in July, next month. But Kawhi is a very old, broken down 32. And while Paul George is not the same player that he was, hell, I'd say, since that terrible injury he suffered in the summer games back in 2014. Back then he was he was a lot younger. He was in his early 20s. But he was a slashing player, mid-range, some outside. But Paul George has evolved to being more of a long two, three-pointer type guy. That happens when you get older. And yes, Paul George does have injury issues. But the problem I have with Kawhi Leonard is that, generally speaking, he's guaranteed to, in any way, even if he's healthy, he's guaranteed every year to miss 20 games. And that has to hurt your overall record, and that has to hurt team chemistry. Especially considering he's such a viable piece of the team. To have a guy keep coming out of the lineup that frequently, on purpose, because of load management, let alone him missing games due to knick-knack injuries. So, hell, I mean, he's going to, it's a great season for Leonard is if he plays 62, 63 games. So, anyway, at the end of the day, I understand it because this era, this Clipper era, this Clipper experiment with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard have not gone as planned. And you have to start being realistic. And now that they aren't going to be able to acquire Malcolm Brogdon, who does have injury problems, but he's much younger than these guys. At the end of the day, if you're the Clippers front office, you should be thinking about this moving on from this era. They're getting older. And unless you can improve the team around these guys, because look, Kawhi Leonard, when he's healthy, I think he's at the apex of his offensive abilities. But I don't think he's the same defender that he was a couple of years ago. Neither are Paul George. But anyway, I mean, if you can get a good deal for Paul George, then fine. Move him. But I just feel terrible for the Clipper fandom, man. I really do. Because it's like, no matter what this franchise does, they just can't get over the hump. But anyway, tell me what you guys think.